In an industry flooded with releases, it's not always easy to find single-player games that are truly worth every penny. So many titles promise vast worlds, epic stories, and innovative mechanics, but few manage to deliver something truly memorable. In this list, I've picked 21 games that not only fulfill their promises but easily stand out from the rest. These are adventures that impress with their quality, captivate with their storytelling, and stay with you long after the screen fades to black. Each game is a safe bet, whether it's for its story, gameplay, or unforgettable universe. I'm Jax, and if you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel, where I bring daily content so you never miss a detail of the gaming world. If you could subscribe to help me grow, I'd really appreciate it, from one gamer to another. First up, we have The Witcher 3, one of the most awarded games in history, and still a landmark among modern RPGs. In it, you step into the shoes of a monster hunter navigating a continent ravaged by wars, intrigue, and ancient secrets. What truly impresses is the narrative density. Each quest, even the simplest, is filled with context, moral dilemmas, and choices that genuinely shape the course of your journey. It's a world where right and wrong are rarely clear, making it all the more fascinating. The combat blends swordplay and magic signs, focusing on preparation, strategy, and knowledge of the creatures you face. But one of the most surprisingly addictive features is Gwent, a card game within the game itself. The pastime becomes almost a side saga, with rare cards to collect and challengers around every corner of the map. Progression is handled smartly, and you always feel like you're evolving, whether mastering combat, winning at Gwent, or experimenting with alchemy, gear, and abilities. The beauty of The Witcher 3 lies in every detail. From the fog-covered forests of Wieland to the golden fields of Toussaint, everything feels alive, vibrant, and full of stories waiting to be told. It's the kind of game where you stop the horse just to watch the sunset or listen to the wind rustling through the trees. The soundtrack underscores each moment with precision, enhancing the epic or melancholic tone as needed. It's a game that captures you not only with its gameplay, but with the emotion behind every choice and setting. Next, we have Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, a solo adventure that proves the series has much more to offer, even outside the main storyline. The journey unfolds in the lush landscapes of India, with ruins hidden among dense forests and towering mountains. Every scene feels hand-painted, with such attention to detail that even the simple act of driving along trails becomes a spectacle. The beauty of the world is used cleverly, guiding your gaze and curiosity in an organic way. The narrative blends explosive action with moments of investigation and character connection. The chemistry between the protagonists works well and keeps the story personal, even amid gunfights and ancient puzzles. There's a balance between cinematic scale and more intimate dialogues, adding to the immersion. Everything flows smoothly, like an adventure film where you have control over time and decisions. The gameplay brings intense shootouts, classic climbing from the franchise, and puzzles that engage without hindering progress. The gunfights are strategic and dynamic, and exploration rewards you with hidden treasures, further connecting you to the world. The soundtrack enhances the sense of mystery and grandeur, perfectly complementing every tone shift. A compact yet memorable adventure, crafted with care in every detail. In third place, we have God of War Ragnarok, an epic continuation that takes Kratos' journey to even greater emotional and visual heights. The 9 Norse realms are depicted with near-mythological beauty, combining frozen forests, deserts lit by auroras, and colossal temples with impeccable art direction. Every new place feels like a living painting, filled with symbolism and details that make you want to take your time before moving on. The story delves into themes like fatherhood, fate, and redemption, bringing meaningful conversations even during the most intense action moments. The relationship between the characters grows with depth and truth, delivering a narrative that's both emotionally powerful and impressive. The twists surprise, and the pace never slows down for long, keeping interest high throughout. In terms of gameplay, combat is even more refined and brutal, with new weapons, enemies, and possibilities. Every strike feels weighty, and every skill choice changes how you approach the next challenge. The world also rewards exploration with secrets, chests, challenges, and side stories that further enrich the universe. It's a game made with rare care, reminding you why you love video games. In fourth place is The Last of Us Part 2, a game that deepens the emotional and devastating universe created by Naughty Dog. Set years after the events of the first title, it explores themes of revenge, trauma, and redemption, never sparing the player from tough decisions and impactful moments. The fragmented narrative lets you see the story from different perspectives, sparking deep reflections on morality. It's one of the boldest and most divisive scripts in gaming history. The world is dense and detailed, with realistic environments reflecting the decay of a collapsing civilization. The animations are incredibly refined, and the details in the settings, from ivy-covered walls to abandoned houses full of objects, enhance immersion. The facial work of the characters conveys emotions with chilling accuracy, adding to the intensity of each scene. Everything comes together to create a tense and gripping atmosphere from start to finish. The combat is brutal, tense, and meticulous, with reactive AI and mechanics that encourage improvisation. Stealth is strengthened by wide, vertical maps, offering the freedom to approach situations in different ways. The crafting system returns with improvements, offering more options to adapt to danger. Action moments are balanced with exploration and narrative, keeping the rhythm consistently interesting. It's a game that demands attention and rewards every choice with real consequences. In fifth place, we have Elden Ring, a colossal journey that combines total freedom of exploration with an unforgettable dark fantasy world. Developed in collaboration with the creator of Game of Thrones, the game presents a ruined universe filled with myths, ruins, and enigmatic beings, all intertwined in a fragmented story that invites you to investigate and piece things together. The sense of discovery is present in every corner, fueling curiosity with constant rewards, surprises, and dangers. The map is vast and interconnected, with distinct regions ranging from decaying swamps to golden deserts and castles overtaken by corruption. Each area carries its own visual identity, and the art direction makes it impossible not to stop and admire the scenery before moving on. Mounts allow you to travel long distances smoothly, and the hidden secrets reward even the most meticulous explorer. There's always something new waiting just beyond the horizon. Combat blends precision with variety, whether focusing on brute force, arcane magic, or range strategies. With dozens of different playstyles, you shape your character freely, unlocking abilities, weapons, and spells that influence your approach. Every enemy poses a new challenge, requiring attention and mastery of the mechanics. In Elden Ring, freedom isn't just geographic, but also strategic, making every adventure unique. In sixth place on the list is Cyberpunk 2077, a futuristic RPG that turned Night City into one of the most immersive and vibrant settings ever created. The city pulses with neon, concrete, and chaos, inviting you to dive into stories of ambition, decay, and identity. The main storyline involves corporate conspiracies and human dilemmas, while side missions create smaller narratives just as impactful as the central arc, often raising difficult moral questions that are hard to ignore. The visuals are mesmerizing, with districts ranging from industrial slums to gleaming skyscrapers filled with technology and luxury. The art direction plays with contrast between the human and the artificial, the digital and the physical, creating environments that not only impress but also reinforce the game's themes. The city is more than just a backdrop. It reacts to your choices, offering unique encounters and unexpected moments around every corner. The combat mechanics offer multiple approaches: smart weapons, brain hacks, brutal melee combat, or stealth with cybernetic implants. Everything can be customized, allowing you to create a personal style within the technological chaos. The progression system is vast, and each skill tree opens up different possibilities. Night City is a maze of opportunities, and it's up to you to decide how to navigate it. In seventh place is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which continues the intense journey of a Jedi survivor in dark times. The game takes place in an expanded universe that blends new planets, ancient ruins, and iconic locations from the franchise. The story follows a more mature path, dealing with loss, difficult choices, and the burden of keeping hope alive even when everything seems to fall apart. It's a chapter full of emotion, where the past and future intertwine powerfully. The world is dense and detailed, with maps encouraging meticulous exploration. Each planet offers hidden secrets, environmental puzzles, and alternative routes. The setting carries the weight of a galaxy in conflict, from ruined cities to vibrant forests and forgotten temples. The immersion is enhanced by an art direction that balances nostalgia with novelty, creating spaces that feel alive even when quiet. The improved combat requires rhythm and precision, with customizable lightsabers and stances that change the dynamics of duels. There are new force abilities, now used both in combat and exploration. With improvements in jumping, climbing, and force usage, movement has become smoother. It's a game that rewards technical mastery and curiosity, offering challenging battles and epic moments worthy of the Star Wars universe. In 8th place, Resident Evil 4 Remake shows how a classic can be reborn with elegance. The game keeps the essence of the original, but rebuilds everything with a level of quality that impresses at every turn. The environments are dense, immersive, and full of tension, with textures and lighting that verge on absolute realism. The setting is so well done that every narrow corridor or foggy forest seems to hide something lurking. The visual work, along with the oppressive atmosphere, makes you feel like you're truly inside a living nightmare. The narrative revolves around the mission to rescue an important figure, but it goes much further. The isolated village, the disturbing figures crossing your path, and the dark secrets behind the cult elevate the story to a new level. The pacing is excellent, alternating between intense action moments and strategic pauses to explore and breathe. The characters, though familiar, have been reimagined with more depth and nuance. Everything contributes to a memorable journey, even for those who already know the plot. The action is refined and responds with precision, with clear improvements in the shooting and movement systems. The battles are intense, with enemies now thinking in groups and using tactics to surround you. The melee combat has been perfected, and the iconic item case brings back the charm of tactical organization. The game also includes mini-games, such as the glorious return of the Mercenaries mode and the fun target shooting challenge. It's a title that balances tension and action like few others. In 9th place, Alan Wake 2 is a dark spectacle that turns every step into a deeper descent into the unknown. With settings that seem to have come straight out of a carefully painted nightmare, the game uses light and shadow as narrative and visual tools masterfully. Every foggy forest and abandoned room carries emotional weight, making you pause not only due to fear, but also because of the melancholic beauty pouring from every detail. The aesthetic is not just visual. It speaks to the atmosphere, suspense, and rhythm of the journey. The story expands the universe of the Haunted Writer, alternating between two narrative lines that intersect with surgical precision. It's a plot that plays with the perception of reality, where psychological horror meets the meta-narrative. The mystery unfolds slowly, leaving clues, symbols, and revelations that provoke an intrigue. Everything is permeated by an unsettling aura, as if something larger and incomprehensible is watching from afar. The writing is sharp, with dialogues that explore human vulnerabilities with intensity. The gameplay favors tension and planning, with combat that uses light as the primary weapon and deliberately limits your resources. The investigation system adds an extra layer to the action, forcing you to make connections within the characters' minds. The atmosphere is reinforced by an engaging soundtrack, using everything from uncomfortable silences to carefully chosen music to accentuate every moment. This is not a game of cheap scares, but one of growing terror, the kind that stays with you after the screen goes dark. In 10th place, Prey is a science fiction game that shines as much for its atmosphere as for its creative possibilities. Aboard the Talos I Space Station, you wake up in a luxurious yet claustrophobic environment, surrounded by an invisible and treacherous alien threat. The game's visuals mix futuristic Art Deco with alien organic designs, creating a unique and memorable identity. Every corner of the station tells a story. Just observe the details and documents left behind. The narrative places you in the shoes of Morgan Yu, a scientist amid a crisis of identity and survival. As you try to uncover the truth behind the experiments conducted on the station, you face complex moral decisions that directly affect the unfolding of the story. The script is intelligent, with intriguing twists and a world that reacts to the way you play. Nothing is simply black or white. What stands out is the freedom of approach. With abilities ranging from alien powers to technological upgrades, you can improvise, manipulate objects, hack systems, or face enemies head-on. The tension is constant, especially with enemies like the Mimics, who could disguise themselves as any ordinary object. The subtle and unsettling soundtrack contributes to the feeling that you're never truly safe, a detail that makes all the difference in the overall mood of the adventure. In the 11th position, The Evil Within and its sequel form a duo that bets on psychological horror without sacrificing intense action. The first game places you in a distorted reality, where the world changes around you, and every corner hides a new nightmare. The visuals are grotesque and fascinating, with environments that seem to come from a delirium. And it's precisely this unpredictability that keeps you hooked the entire time. It's not just about jump scares, but a constant discomfort that masterfully builds the atmosphere. The story revolves around trauma, loss, and a fragmented mind. You enter a kind of collective simulator where your deepest fears take form, facing creatures that are direct extensions of these traumas. In the second game, the narrative becomes more intimate and emotional, while still keeping the unsettling essence of the original. The themes deepen, and the connection with the protagonist becomes even more personal and intense. In terms of gameplay, both titles evolve significantly. The first is more linear and limited, focusing on tension and resource management. The second offers semi-open maps and multiple ways to tackle challenges, without losing the sense of vulnerability. It's a series that drags you through a psychological and emotional maze, leaving you thinking long after you finish the game. In 12th place, BioShock Infinite delivers a unique vision of a floating world, visually stunning, with the city of Columbia serving as the backdrop for a philosophical and intense journey. The contrast between celestial architecture and dark themes creates a setting that impresses both aesthetically and in terms of depth. Every street, sign, and structure is part of a living painting, where the impossible feels like the everyday. The plot revolves around Booker and his mission to rescue Elizabeth, but quickly evolves into something much larger, a dive into questions of free will, parallel realities, and morality. The narrative is built with striking dialogues and memorable twists, making you rethink everything until the final moment. The world building is so rich that every corner of the city hides a secret, a detail, something that reinforces the strangeness and beauty of Columbia. The combat blends conventional weapons with special abilities called vigors, creating dynamic battles in aerial tracks and vertical arenas. It's chaotic and satisfying, with a well-balanced rhythm between gunfights and exploration moments. The soundtrack ranges from original songs to alternative versions of classics, enhancing the surreal atmosphere of the game. BioShock Infinite not only entertains, but also provokes and surprises, leaving a mark that goes far beyond the final shot. In 13th place, The Outer Worlds leans into a stylized sci-fi that blends sharp humor with social critique, set in a space colony dominated by greedy corporations. Each planet you visit has its own identity, from industrial deserts to shimmering cities, all packed with details that invite exploration. The retro-futuristic art style creates an atmosphere that is both charming and satirical. The story places you in the role of a colonist awakened after years of cryogenic sleep, thrown into a conspiracy where every decision shapes the fate of Halcyon. Choices are constant, with well-written dialogues and real consequences that affect companions, factions, and the narrative's outcome. Everything is designed to make you feel like an active participant in the world, whether as an idealistic hero or someone driven by personal interests. During missions, the game allows for a versatile approach, combining gun combat, stealth, and social skills. Companions have distinct personalities and contribute unique abilities, further deepening the journey. The perks and reputation systems ensure that each playthrough is different, and the pacing of the adventure keeps a balance between action and conversation. A game that plays with corporate absurdities but delivers a complete sci-fi journey. In 14th place, Blasphemous II returns with a dark and brutally beautiful world where faith and suffering intertwine in every setting. The religiously distorted landscapes impress with artistic density. The game retains the unique aesthetic of the first title, but refines it further, with fluid animations and enemy designs that are both grotesque and fascinating. The narrative follows an enigmatic path full of symbols, where you need to decipher the intentions behind each character and revelation. The world building is deep, immersed in themes of penance, sacrifice, and corrupted faith. Each new environment explores these ideas with new visual metaphors and brutal challenges. In combat, the 2D mechanics are precise, ruthless, and tactical, with 3 main weapons allowing for strategic variations. New abilities are unlocked as you progress, rewarding perseverance in overcoming obstacles. A Metroidvania that challenges both your reflections and your reflexes. In 15th place, Sea of Solitude offers an emotional journey set in stunning landscapes. You control Kay, a young woman navigating a submerged city, where each corner reflects her mental state. The scenery changes with her emotions, creating a world that is both hostile and captivating. The hand-painted art direction turns sadness and fear into beauty. It's the kind of game where you stop just to take in your surroundings. Every visual detail seems designed to touch you deeply. The encounters with creatures represent significant people in Kay's life. Instead of traditional battles, you need to understand what these figures mean. The mechanics are simple, with moments of stealth, platforming, and small puzzles. But everything serves the narrative, and nothing feels out of place. The soundtrack follows the protagonist's highs and lows. With each step, there's more feeling than challenge. And that works perfectly within the context. The game approaches mental health with honesty and lightness. The story touches on themes of depression, loneliness, and acceptance without feeling forced. As Kay overcomes her fears, you feel like you're walking with her. It's an intimate journey that leaves an imprint even after it's over. It's not about defeating enemies, but understanding the shadows we carry. And few works do this as beautifully as Sea of Solitude. In the 16th position, Hogwarts Legacy is an RPG that fulfills the dream of many to live as a student at the world's most famous magic school. Set in the 19th century, long before the saga we know, the game presents an original story where you play as a new student with a rare gift linked to ancient magic. The plot blends mystery, danger, and choices that will shape your journey through the halls, corridors, and enchanted forests around the castle. You can freely explore Hogwarts, interacting with secret rooms, learning spells, brewing potions, and even attending classes. The combat system is agile, combining offensive magic, dodges, and special abilities. You can also visit villages, tame magical creatures, and face unique challenges in caves and forgotten ruins. All of this fits seamlessly into a journey that respects the essence of the magical universe without being too tied to what we already know. The setting is one of the game's greatest strengths. The castle is recreated with such attention to detail that it invites you to stop and admire every tapestry, staircase, and hidden room. The forbidden forest, haunted corridors, and starry skies contribute to a constantly magical atmosphere. Combined with the charm of the artistic design and the freedom of character creation, this RPG offers one of the most complete and engaging versions of the wizarding world in games. In the 17th position, Starfield is Bethesda's ambitious space RPG, placing you at the center of an interstellar journey full of mysteries. The game is set in a distant future where humanity has colonized planets and faces political, ethical, and existential dilemmas. You play as an explorer of the constellation, a group seeking to uncover the secrets of the universe and understand the origin of alien artifacts of unknown power. During the campaign, you'll visit hundreds of planets, build outposts, pilot customized ships, and interact with factions that directly influence the unfolding of the story. Choices are constant, impacting everything from combat to relationships with companions and organizations. The character creation system is also vast, allowing you to shape your character with specific skills tailored to any playstyle. The visuals reinforce this sense of grandeur, with varied planetary landscapes, detailed space stations, and futuristic cities full of life. Although it follows the developer's traditional style, Starfield focuses on a more contemplative atmosphere, where curiosity is rewarded with discoveries. The pace can be slower, but it offers that kind of immersion that keeps you engaged with the scale and the constant feeling that there's always something new beyond the next stellar leap. In the 18th position, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a journey that blends mythology, conquests, and tribal wars in 9th century England. You take on the role of a Nordic warrior during the Viking invasion, but the story goes far beyond battles. Amid political alliances and internal disputes, the narrative unfolds along paths that explore themes of honor, faith, and belonging, cleverly connecting with the franchise's legacy. The mechanics have evolved into a more RPG-oriented style, with expansive skill trees, varied weapons, and a progression system that lets you shape your warrior uniquely. Raids on villages, brutal confrontations, and explorations across the English kingdoms provide a constant rhythm of discoveries and challenges. There's also the construction of a settlement that serves as your base, where you influence key aspects of your story. The world itself is a spectacle. Fog-covered forests, frozen lakes, mountains, and ancient ruins make for breathtaking landscapes. It's the kind of game that invites you to slow down, climb a peak, and just observe the vastness ahead. The sound design reinforces the immersion, with environmental sounds echoing through the conquered lands, completing the sensation of living an epic saga. In the 19th position, the Callisto Protocol is a horror and sci-fi game that throws you into a maximum security prison on one of Jupiter's moons. The atmosphere is suffocating from the first moments, with dark hallways, distant sounds, and the constant feeling that something is about to happen. The story revolves around survival, but as you explore, you uncover sinister secrets about experiments and conspiracies hidden deep within the facility. The combat is heavy and tense, focusing on close combat with a camera that heightens the claustrophobia. Improvised weapons, grotesque enemies, and the need to react quickly create brutal and strategic confrontations. Movement requires caution, and managing resources becomes crucial in moments where each step could be your last. The rhythm balances intense action with moments of pure psychological horror. The setting is a sci-fi horror spectacle. Every environment is crafted with great attention to detail, from abandoned laboratories to tunnels infested with creatures. Flickering lights, automatic alerts, and the metallic sound of the structures make the immersion even more oppressive. It's the kind of game that, even after it's turned off, stays with you because of the tension, the atmosphere, and the well-timed scares. In the 20th position, Kingdom Come Deliverance is a medieval RPG that ditches fantasy to deliver a world based on historical facts. The story follows a young peasant's journey for justice amid a kingdom torn by wars and intrigues. The plot unfolds slowly, with dense dialogues and decisions that truly affect how events play out. Living in the 15th century is more than just a backdrop, it's the very challenge. The combat system requires patience, precision, and learning. There's no room for mindlessly running into battles. Every weapon has weight. Every strike consumes energy, and victory depends on training with masters and honing your skills. Missions vary from espionage to diplomacy to battles, always respecting the realistic tone and complexity of its world. You feel your character progress with every achievement, as if you were truly becoming better. The visual fidelity to the bohemian medieval scenery is impressive. Castles, villages, and forests are recreated based on real records, and walking through this map feels almost like a journey through time. The sounds of daily life, the changing seasons, and the rhythm of a feudal society make everything feel authentic. It's a game that demands time and dedication, but rewards you with a rare immersion, where even the simple act of reading a book carries weight within the narrative. In the 21st position, Atomic Heart takes you to an alternate version of the Soviet Union during the retrofuturistic era. The technological utopia has collapsed, and now, conscious machines and bizarre creatures dominate an isolated scientific complex. You play as an agent tasked with uncovering what happened while exploring laboratories, facilities, and forests full of mysteries. The setting blends sci-fi with horror, creating a scenario that is as intriguing as it is terrifying. The combat is frenetic, combining traditional weapons with telekinetic powers and experimental elements. The fluidity of the battles allows you to improvise strategies quickly, especially when using the different powers of your cybernetic glove. Weapons can be modified in real time, and exploration ensures access to new resources and upgrades. There's a constant balance between intense action, environmental puzzle solving, and moments of pure narrative tension. The visual style of Atomic Heart is one of its most striking points. Each area has its own distinct style, with creative use of colors, architecture, and lighting that transforms the world into something almost surreal. Even in the most brutal moments, it's hard not to stop for a second and observe the details around you. The soundtrack alternates between the sinister and the energetic, accompanying the tone of a story full of social criticism and scientific madness. And let me know which of these games you've had a chance to play. Did any catch your curiosity? And would you add them to your list of upcoming games? We'd love to hear which one grabbed your attention. Share in the comments a game that definitely deserved a spot on the list, but didn't make it. If you could, please subscribe to the channel to help me grow and never be in doubt about what to play again. I'm leaving 2 videos in the card, one I selected for you and the other one YouTube chose. Just click on either one to watch. Big hug, happy gaming, and see you tomorrow.